think we're going to try that out today. Insane. Shout out Yeti. Sound quality. See if that's better. It's like McDavid's dick just dropped on my fucking forehead this week. Fucking asshole. Does that work? We're back. Let's go. Players, coaches, fans young and old from across the globe, welcome to the Week 9 recap show of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host, I'm your commissioner, I am Team Westside, and it is always my goddamn honor to be here with you all recapping, say it with me, the greatest league in the world. Week 9 in the books, not even the books, on a granite tablet chiseled in stone forever. What happened, happened. And what did happen? Let's find out together. As always, what did we learn this week? Class is in session. My favorite class of all time, right here. Last week, end of the show, I said this was a statement week. We got 1 seed versus 2 seed. We got the battle of the boys that are struggling but playing well. Something's got to give. What's going to happen? And then we had the greatest rivalry in sports. It goes like Yankees, Red Sox, Canada, USSR. The figure skater and the other figure skater who got her knee smashed in. Hartley, Handley, doesn't matter. We had that kind of rivalry going this week. And what happened? What did we learn? We learned that we've got a new number 1. We learned we've got a new number 6, or the same number 6. And overall, we've got a tighter standings race parity. The midfield is crazy. Every game matters. We got 2 teams at 6 and 3, 3 teams at 4 and 5, and 1 team lonely by himself in the basement. No spoilers, but even that team is only 1 game back from being in 3rd. What's going to happen? I don't know. We've got 12 weeks left, but let's not talk about the future. Let's talk about the now and what happened. Let's get into it. And I have to start with it because he's been doing it all year. In a big spot, in the biggest game, in the biggest stage, with number 1 big spot there for the taking. Yeah, I'm talking about the Breakfast Club. 230.6, highest point total of the week. Shocker, what else is new? Over Timmy Westside, 200 points. Not good enough. The kid does what he does all season. He is now on a, I should have wrote this down, 3-game winning streak, something like that. 3-game winning streak for Larry. And once again, highest score of the week, highest scoring team all season. Larry was in front all week. May have jumped out to a little bit of a lead on Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll get into Friday. But he would always extend the lead to like 20 points. But then I had a lot of 10 p.m. guys. So I'd wake up like down 7 points. We did that same thing all week. And then Friday happened. And Friday, McDavid and his big fucking schlong stepped on my throat, gagged me out. Ugh, sounds disgusting. Yeah, Friday was the nail in the coffin for Timmy Westside. Laurent Pierre put up 40.9 points, and Timmy Westside put up 24.5. Yeah, that's fine for a Friday. I'll get into it later. Remind me to come back to that note. Who led the way? This guy led the way. Fucking McDaddy. Best come at the king. You come at the king, you best not miss. He's been there all season. No one has taken him down. 24.6 points this week. Led the way for Larry. Kyle Connor right behind him is 17.2. And Tristan Jarry, once again, right there. I got something in my throat. Right there for the kid. Strong between the pipes as he's been all season for the Breakfast Club. His players led the way all week with a total of 191 points. And if you look at the scoreboard, just with that, he could have, only taken down one team, but within screaming distance of everyone else, just with his forwards and defense. His goalies, they did what they had to do. 4-4, but a sneaky 39.6 points. A lot for 4 wins. He did have that shutout, which helped him. Highest total 3-game win streak. And I know the Bourne backhanders hated when I said this last year, apparently, but Larry's only made 3 roster moves all season. And what does that mean? Don't come at me, Shauna. Relax. It means A, he's had good injury luck, and B, his team was built in the draft. He knew what he wanted. His team has been producing since day one. Not many changes. And why would you when you're 6-3 atop the leaderboard? For Timmy Westside, I came off a bounce back win last week with over 200 points. And once again, I just break that marker with 200 points on the nose, but not good enough. Last week, if you remember, my offense kept me alive, got me the win. Saturday, when none of my goalies did anything last week, my offense put up 45 to 49 points, something like that. This week, my offense let me down in a big spot. Big time. Goalies win championships, but your players need to win week to week. It's a team event. Disappointing. That's what I wrote down. Not that, disappointing because my goalies, 60.6 points on the week, 7-2. You would think that would be good enough. Disappointed because my offense only had 139.4 points. And disappointed just because Larry blew me out of the water. He blew everyone out of the water this week. If it was more of like an average week kind of thing, like, maybe he's around like 210 and my offense did a little better, actually did something, who knows what would have happened, but my boys just weren't there. Snip that, edit that, cut that. My top 3, Igor Shesterkin, 24.1 points. Mark Scheifele, 18.2. A late ad last week. He's been doing good for me. And Connor Hellebuck, where he's been atop of my team all season, 17.9. But I don't care. It doesn't matter. 200 points, not good enough when you're going up against the highest scoring offense in the league. Stick taps, kid. Let's move on to the Burt Macklin squad. 198.7 points, taken down the inflatable goose. 182.8 points, good enough for Jacoby to get off the schneid, snapping the 3-game losing streak that he had going in. Remember, last week, I put this team on blast. I said, buddy, enough's enough. Close, good enough in horse hockey and hand shooters. You know the saying. I said it last week. Check the game notes. On blast teams are now 4-0 when called out by the commish. And how did he do it? Going back to my goalies just real quick. Bobrovsky, you done. You dropped. So how did Jake do it? Well, Willie Nylander would have helped my fucking shitty offense last week. Because he was Jake's top go-getter with 20.2 points. Great trade, Timbo. Linus Allmark between the pipes, 18.3. And Alex the Great Ovi with 15.4. Once again, rounding out Jake's top 3. Love to see it. Jake was down big right off the hop. And this comeback win, we'll get into the record-breaking comeback win. Helped him get to 4-5 and join that crowded midfield. But Jake was down big right off the hop. 44.7 points to 8.9 points after Monday. Kenny came out hot and then simmered, got less hot as the week went on. Tuesday, same thing. After Tuesday, Kenny was up 81.1 to 35.6. Quick math guy here, not quick math guy because I already did it, is a 45.5 point deficit comeback. Walk it in the record books. And a big part of that comeback was the weekend, end of the week, Friday and Saturday. By the time Sunday morning rolled around, Jake was winning, but those 2 days, Friday and Saturday, Jake had outscored Ken 67 to 18.2 points. There's your comeback right there. His goal is nothing to write home about. It did what they had to do. 3-3-1 on the week, 28.9 points. Not good enough to get him over the 200 marker, but he didn't need to because he was playing the Rubber Puckies, the lowest scoring team of the week. Back-to-back weeks now where Kenny is the lowest scoring team in the league. And now he is on a 3-game losing streak that Jake just snapped. Jake infamously said 3 weeks in a row now playing the highest scoring team. Ken was actually the lowest scoring team by the end of the week. He did have that hot start, so I get where he's coming from. It was an all-time low for Kenny on Saturday in a big spot. I just remembered something that I want to say about my team because it kind of went with this, but doesn't matter. On to the next. On to this game. Kenny, Saturday. Where was I? 5.2 points. That's all he got. He had 8 offensive players, forwards and defense. 8 players, 2.2 points. That's the message. That's what they gave him on Saturday. His goalie got a OT loss for 3 points. All in all, when you have 5.2 points on a Saturday on the biggest day of the week, not good enough, obviously. His goalies actually outplayed Jake's 2-3-4, 29.2 points on the week. And his top 3 was Pierre-Luc Dubois, 19.2, Travis Konecny, 15.4, and Artemi Panarin. Good to see him back there because he's been stinking up the joint. 15.2 points. If it makes you feel any better, Kenny, well, as I was saying earlier, on Friday, when Larry ended it, called the fight, 8 of my 12 players playing recorded less than 1 whole point. So I know how those big days can just... One day, that's all it takes sometimes, and you just go, suivant next. But, my dog, my Ken Diggity dog. Listen, bud, there's been a lot of social media content out there. Not about the king, not about the defending champ, not about the 2-time Apollo 420 winner. No, there's been a lot of social media about your alter ego. Hold on, boo! I'm talking to Kenny. It's been a lot of talk, not about Kenny, but about Keeny Bong Rips. I know. You're like, what the fuck? Top rope. Just trying to be there for the boys. I get it. But right now, your boys need you. Last week, I said, timeout. He's 4-4. He's still the champ. He's fine. This week, and I know I'm sandbagging myself. I'm sandbagging Timmy Westside, but the commish, the storyline, take president over me, the person. It's best for the league as a whole. If I put you on blast this week, go and get a fucking win next week. It's about goddamn time. You are playing Timmy Westside. I know, I get that, but it's not about me. It's about the champ remembering who you are. Simba, remember. Let's go. You're on blast. I'm 4-0 right now. The commish is 4-0 right now. Don't let me down. Or let me down. It's fine. Last game of the week. Last game of the week was the game of the week. And we ended our recap show last week with Big Bootsy hopping on a plane, going to war into enemy territory. Not only does he call out Shauner, but he calls out all of Ontario, staking the Bootsy flag in enemy territory. Well, that flag just kind of went and toppled over because the Borland Backhanders defends home court 204.9 over the Comeback Kid 201.1. Another tight, heartbreaking loss for the kid. And Shauner's just gotta be. Bootsy, I'm sorry, but I wrote down you gotta call him daddy. Shawnee's your daddy now. Shawnee the daddy. He's 2-0 on you this year, and there's been a lot of talk, and his team has delivered again and once again. Bootsy tried to complete the comeback on Sunday. He did outscore Shauner, but however, it just wasn't quite enough. Shauner won 4 games all week, 4 days this week. Kristoff had 3. So again, as I said, tight race, back and forth. At one point, I did want to text the chat, the group, as like a reminder. The tiebreaker is whoever has most goals that week, because it was that tight, and I was like, I don't want any gray area. But Shauner got the dub, and how did he do it? Tage, hold my sack, Thompson. 26.2 points. Highest point go-getter of the week. We'll get into his story a little bit after I rattle off Patrick Laine's 20-point week and Austin Matthews 17.0. Bootsy, you're calling out big dogs in big videos in front of big games. And Austin Matthews delivered. You said, oh, who'd you say again? Robertson. Not even on the top 3 go-getters. Austin Matthews answered for Shauner. Don't poke the bear. But just going back to Tage Thompson real quick. We all saw it on Wednesday. 23 points alone in one game. And that day, Kristoff really could have taken a big lead because his team had 43 points and Shauner's had 42. 23 of those came from Tage Thompson alone. So he doesn't have that monster of a game, that record-breaking game. You're oh so close, Bootsy. Shauner's goalies went 3-2-1, good enough for 25.7 points. It was really his offense who led the way. Bootsy, you said it yesterday. Your goalies let you down, and they did in a big spot. They went 1-6-1 all week for 12.4 points, and that lone win came yesterday on Sunday when it was too little too late. It didn't matter. Your offense was actually better than Shauner's, 188.7 points to 179.2. but your goalie just wasn't up to snuff. If they went 500, you win this game easy. They just weren't there. Another 200-point loss sucks. I know the feeling this week. But yeah, coming off of last week's 249 points, enemy territory, big spot, trying to keep the momentum. But your daddy says, no, kid. Fucking take a seat on my lap. What do you want for Christmas? If there is one positive, is that you are only one game back of 3 people. 12 games left. A lot to still play for. Anything can happen. And let's take a quick look at week 10. As I said, Rubber Puckies on blast, needing to snap that 3-game winning streak, taking on Timmy Westside. May have just sandbagged myself, but we'll see what happens. Borland Backhanders taking on the Burt Macklin squad, a pair of 4 and 5 teams, and the Comeback Kid taking on the new number 1, the Breakfast Club. If Bootsy can win, one of those other teams has to lose. You'll be tied. Big week, as always. I can't wait to find out what happens. Tune in next Monday. I didn't do that right. I did I clicked it and then boop.